Hello, I am back again for a scripted video. It has been a very long time. This video may not have been what you were expecting. I kind of wanted to break down Fire Emblem Three Houses world building, so what the fuck is the analysis of Chapter 2's map? Allow me to explain. Basically, I wanted to use my own footage for this, so I restarted Three Houses.
Have you lost your mind?
And I did a Black Eagles playthrough.
He has a mental illness.
Because I want to focus strictly on Petra and how well her dialogue is handled.
As one, calm your heart, and do not be worried about this killing.
What did you say, nigga?
My first world building analysis video is going to be on the immigrant characters, just generally how Three Houses fumbles like pretty much all of them, maybe except for Edu. So color me like super shocked when I'm hit with the sudden inspiration at how unbelievably dull and terribly designed Chapter 2 is. People are cooking when they're like, yeah, I like Engage because at least it's not Three Houses. I understand completely, like, this shit is boring as fuck. Nothing is happening right now. Genuinely, this is one of my worst Fire Emblem experiences I've had in a while. I'm not joking. And I can't believe I did not notice it on my first playthrough. I'm playing this map and I'm like, man, I'm so bored. I can't do this. Like, I'm so bored. And it's like, I'm not having fun. And it hit me. Maybe this is why people really aren't too fond of Three Houses level design. Maybe this is why people have a hard time doing repeat playthroughs and they don't want to beat the game again. They can only really do it once. Listen, I don't know if the game will get any shittier as it goes along. As I record this video, I'm only on chapter 4 of my playthrough, but I want to systematically go through every map and review and rate it and give some perspective into why people think this game is a load of crap. In order to judge a map, we first need some type of rubric to judge it by, some standards it needs to uphold, right? For me, a good map is memorable, promotes strategy, and has solid pacing and action. Those are my standards, but I'm curious because it's a little bit subjective. Tell me in the comments below what are some of your standards, what are some of your things that some of your favorite maps in the series. Come in the comments. Like, what's a good map to you? But with my standards, yeah, this map sucks total dick. In particular, the pacing of this is so goddamn slow. It takes about 13 turns.
What?
And 30 minutes to beat, but it was pure torture. People shit on Genealogy for having huge levels, but those units have 8 movement. These units have 4. And it feels so bad to play. This map is 18 by 30. The shortest route to the boss is 8 turns, which does not include time spent from dealing with the dumb enemies on this map. I'll get into the enemy placement later. For comparison, let's look at the next entry in the series, since I actually have footage for that game, Fire Emblem Engage, another game where your units have 4 movement at base. But here, the maps are much smaller to compensate. 11 by 14 for Chapter 2, 17 by 9 for Chapter 3. Additionally, the bosses of Chapter 2 and Chapter 3 move, so a lot of the map is not even realistically accessible, making them even smaller. I glanced at other Chapter 2s in the series, and they also generally follow this trend of being smaller and having circumstances which make the map feel even smaller, such as Fates being a pseudo-defense chapter where you don't really move outside of this 5x5 square to win, or the previously mentioned Lumira chapter where she mows down the elementary school kids in her Sigurd-mobile.
Ryan, look out!
This is a huge map for Chapter 2. I understand this is because they reuse maps, but that doesn't really change the fact that my experience was fucking terrible. The fact that early games maps are used for late game or mid game paralogs is quite frankly fucking absurd, since in those parts of the game you're gonna have more movement options, you're gonna have mounted classes, so the map, you're not gonna feel the size of the map that much. But when you have these baby units, these baby characters, man, like, it feels bad, it feels awful. Like, the map isn't the only thing that contributes to the slow pace in the map. The enemy placement.
A lot of like small segmented battles.
They're very spaced out as well. So for most of the map, you aren't fucking doing anything at all except for moving your units along. It's not well paced in the slightest. The fucking 3-range archers also adds this problem, since you have to slow down even further, since some of your units will actually get doubled by them. Yeah, on Chapter 2, how fun. The game should have had more enemies if it was actually gonna be this big, so that you actually get to play the game. Another small thing that blocks on the pace of the map is the chest placement. The map is too big. This chest is out of the way as well. It's a very out of the way chest. I don't know.
It is. You have to take an entire turn to get that chest.
Multiple turns, bro. Due to, again, not having any movement options, this very out-of-the-way chest either completely takes one unit out of getting experience for the rest of the map, or you're just sitting around waiting like a dumb fuck while your water boy gets his bench warming exercises in. This chest doesn't really provide any real incentive to take the right path. It's just much easier to send one guy over while the rest of your unit slowly march towards the boss. It's not like you're missing out on any experience of taking the right path, since you can easily bait out these enemies from the east. Another W map design moment, completely worthless junctions. Why would you go this way? Enemy placement, like, I don't know. The enemy placement is so trash. Is it because to get the No, it says they'll hold for cavalry should have traversed, so I should be chilled. Why is this nigga here? Hello? Game design moments? What's that nigga over there for? I'm not going to. Now, let's get into the next complaint of this map. It promotes no strategic thinking besides the formulaic bait and kill strategies. An example of something that promotes strategy is just the enemies putting pressure on you, so you can't really use bait and kill, or the use of enemy formation, so that you can't really approach with bait and kill, or you'll just like get in a really sticky situation, probably lose a few characters, stuff like that. Conquest and Engage had a lot of moments like this, particularly Conquest does in its early game. You literally can do interesting things in the early game, guys. So that's not a real excuse. It's happened before. So I don't want to hear that, oh, it's the second map. No, you can do plenty of interesting things in early game. Memorability. There's nothing to say about this map except it was boring. Sorry if this sounds skimped out on and lazy, but there's something to say. You fight some enemies, slowly move towards Costas with their 4 movements, 2-shot him, and then win. If we're going to compare it to Engage, you have 2 phases of the fight. You have fighting Lumiere without Sigurd, you have fighting Lumiere with Sigurd. And it does introduce like the Sigurd emblem like pretty well, and introduce like fighting with enemy emblems like pretty well. It's also good that you don't lose units on this map. Like, it's just like a pretty memorable chapter, if we're just being honest. The fact that this chapter didn't have anything going for it does like kind of stand out. We can make excuses and be like, oh, well, this game did this, and this game did that. Well, those games had the decency to not have a fucking whatever by whatever grid. Like, they were short. They take like maybe like 10 minutes to beat. This took 30 minutes of my life. Like, how would I fix this map? We have to be constructive here, so I'm not going to shit on 3 houses. I'm going to say how we could have made it better. What can we do to have made 3 houses map design better, level design better, so that it could actually have been the GOAT. It could have been the GOAT. It could have had the GOAT story. Debatable. But it could have the GOAT story and the GOAT gameplay. I would change this map to promote some brain activity. I know that's like missing in Fire Emblem fans, but I wish we could have some brain activity in our gameplay. I love the idea of enemy formations. Fire Emblem Engage kind of made me realize this has been missing from the series since Conquest. Enemy formations can decentivize typical bait strategies, since if you try to bait them, you will get fucked in the ass, get prostate cancer, and die. For instance, maybe you can get hit with a gambit that reduces your movement, and the next guy can swing it with a killing edge or effective damage. I don't know, anything fun to engage with that shows that something was going on in their head when they made this map. 3 Houses has plenty of mechanics that just go underutilized. I feel like Turn Wheel is underutilized as a mechanic. It's more used as a thing of convenience when it could have been baked into level design. I feel like Engage did a better job of that, if I'm being honest. Like, something happens you possibly can't predict, right? Well, use a Millis Turn Wheel or whatever to take back that action, take back that turn, so that you can try again and try a different strategy. So it's still convenient, but it feels like in 3 Houses, the turn wheel is there for if an enemy gets a lucky crit on you, or you just miss a hit or something. You're actually using the turn wheel not because you fucked up, but more because like, oh, well, that just happened. Let me try something different. Let me like reapproach this scenario a different way. So that's kind of what I mean by turn wheel is underutilized. But also gambits are underutilized. Gambits, in my opinion, could have been the Dragon Vein or the emblem rings of this game, but it's just a tacked on feature for realism's sake. because it's not just one unit. You have to have all the people around them, because that's what happens in a war. And it's like, no, it's like a silly tacked on feature, and just I can't think of a single time where I strategized around the existence of gambits. It's like I just want to be like punished. I want to be like screwed over because I didn't pay attention to enemy gambit. And whenever enemy gambit pops up, it's like, that happened. Well, it didn't inconvenience me that much to where I would have to use the Miller's turn wheel or change my strategy, so who fucking cares? And that is, like kind of the issue with this game a little bit. I also would have maybe reduced the size of this map just a little to counteract how low movement all of your units are, or just like remove that junction entirely or incentivize a reason to take this path as one does not exist even if you are LTCing. So this is what I would have addressed to make this map a little bit more manageable. So again, I plan to make this a series. I plan to like go into all of the maps in the game, at least for the Black Eagles route, and just like talk about them. So if you're like interested in like talking about like map design, level design, hit the subscribe button. Let's talk about it. Did you like chapter 2? I'm saying it was like one of the, maybe because I'm coming off of Engage, and I'm like going back to 3 houses. It's extra painful, but yeah, that shit was fucking terrible. Yeah, if you like me, if you like what I'm saying, if you like how I put it, hit the subscribe button, like the video, share, I don't know, argue with me in the comments. I kind of want to argue with people. I want to start beef in my comment section. I think it'll be highly entertaining. It would give me, since I have a purpose in my life, to argue with people over the internet. Yeah, for sure, totally.